Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Wrestling Discussions. On today's episode, I got a couple different topics to talk about. We're going to start with Shinsuke Nakamura versus the Great Muta. Now, I talked a little bit about this yesterday, talking about the idea of Triple H crossing the Forbidden Door, right? And, well, I think it's safe to say that the Forbidden Door was crossed by Shinsuke Nakamura via Triple H. Triple H, since coming in power, he's done things a little differently for WWE, and he certainly changed things. One of which has been the wrestlers' capability of being able to go over to other promotions and do things through other promotions. Shinsuke Nakamura going over to Japan to wrestle the Great Muta, and that is one of the things that Triple H has been allowing. He's been allowing for people to go over and wrestle in other areas, other promotions, other business deals, and to see Shinsuke Nakamura wrestle the Great Muta is an incredible sight. I mean, the Great Muta has been wrestling for how long? He's had such a great career, and Shinsuke Nakamura has also had a great career. It's really nice to see Triple H kind of allow that type of that type of creativity to let another wrestler from your promotion go over to another promotion and kind of not even necessarily for that promotion, but just kind of like for themselves. Like, I'm sure for Shinsuke that was a dream come true. I'm sure that was a very special moment for him, and I think that's something that not just the wrestling fans will have with them forever, but I think the wrestlers themselves will hold that forever. And I think that's very important to look at. And I think that's something that it's important to look at as well when you look at Triple H, because that's what you're looking at. This guy is willing to, let his wrestlers do this and that. And Triple H has been very lenient. He's been a lot different in terms of control than that of Vince McMahon. And I think it's safe to say that everyone loves it. And everyone loved the Great Muta versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura did get the victory over the Great Muta, and I did see some clips of the match. It was a very great matchup. It was very intriguing to see Shinsuke Nakamura use the Great Muta's own signature against him, in the sense of using the signature mist, the green mist. It was incredible. It was very nice to see. I think it was no less than magnificent. It was vintage Shinsuke Nakamura in what honestly I consider to be Shinsuke's natural habitat. Like, Shinsuke just seemed like he was in such a great environment, and he just seemed like he was at home, and I loved seeing that style of him, because not necessarily that Shinsuke hasn't been upholding to the same standard in the WWE, but I think it's safe to say that Shinsuke has had a bit of a hindrance, whether it be through the creators or the writers or the people at WWE. He's had a bit of a hindrance, and I think it's safe to say that Shinsuke, when he comes back to the WWE, I think it's safe to say that there's going to be a fire lit from under him, and I think that's something that we're going to get to look at and really be exposed to later on down the line when he comes back to the States and wrestles for WWE again. Now, shifting over from that, I've been hearing lately, ever since he mentioned it on his podcast, there's been a lot of talk of a potential Logan Paul versus John Cena. Now, there's also been some talk about a potential WrestleMania 39 match between the two, and I'm just going to shut that down right now, because I don't know who's thinking that's going to happen, but there's no way it can happen. Logan Paul, for those of you that don't know, has suffered a torn ACL, torn MCL, and a torn meniscus, as far as I know. And we saw with like Seth Rollins what that type of injury can do. Now, granted, yes, this happened back in November, but same thing, right? I'm sorry, not November. Apologies. This happened back in. Oh no, wait, no, it did. It happened in November 5th. That's right, yeah. But sorry about that. But the same thing. I mean, is the dude gonna be ready by April? It's I'll have to do the math later and figure out how many months that is. But even then, it's not that many months. It's December, January, February. It's like 5, 6 months, and a tear like that usually takes about 6 months just of a healing process before they can even start to get back into the ring and start recovering. And that's where my worry is for Logan, because first of all, Logan Paul is honestly a great athlete. I think everyone can agree with that, and I think what he's done in WWE is no short of amazing. However, all that being said, he had what was a very he has a very serious knee injury, incredibly serious. And I know Logan Paul, like I know he's a stubborn person, and I know he would most likely still say, "No, I'm good. I can do this." But I'm hoping WWE does not clear him. I'm hoping they do not let him do this, and I'm hoping this idea gets shut down very quickly, because John Cena, first off, just wrestled, and I don't think, in my personal opinion, I don't think there's any idea of him wrestling anytime soon, and I really don't see him wrestling Logan Paul anytime soon. I don't think Logan Paul's going to be back for a little while, especially not back in time for that of WrestleMania. And I mean it sucks, but it's an unfortunate truth, right? And not only is Logan injured, but let's be honest. Logan Paul versus John Cena, right? Let me just break this down for everyone. John Cena wrestles about at least once a year these past couple of years. Logan Paul has had 3 matches in the WWE, one of which was against Roman Reigns. That was his last match. And don't get me wrong, each match that he does, he performs better and better, and he puts on show after show, moment after moment, and I think he surpasses the fans' expectations every single time. But Logan Paul versus John Cena at WrestleMania is something I just don't know if I can get behind, because it's one thing for Triple H to see this as a headline, in the sense that with Roman Reigns, Triple H took that as, you have your champion versus the biggest underdog of all, the YouTube boxing sensation, Logan Paul. That's one thing, because that is entertainment, whether it be in a funny way or whatever way. That is a semi-form of entertainment, right? Him versus John Cena, I don't think anyone can really get behind that, because, and this is no offense to John Cena, but John Cena, like I said, only these past couple of years, he's only been wrestling once out of the year. And so I think it's safe to say that this guy isn't necessarily going to be, like, full-on prepared and full-on ready for this. Like, I don't think John Cena's just going to come back in here and go, okay, let's do this. Mano on mano, I'm going to fight Logan Paul. Because it's not to say John Cena could potentially lose. I don't think John Cena could lose at all to Logan Paul. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying I think that John Cena is in the position right now where he shouldn't be putting over guys like Logan Paul, or wrestling guys like Logan Paul at all, because it's safe to say that Logan has what is a bit of a... He has a contract with WWE, but it's a bit of a contract in the sense that the dude wrestles how many months of the year? He wrestled 3 matches in 1 year, first of all, and he doesn't wrestle on any of the shows. He only does pay-per-view matches. He only does big headlines. And that's just to show that Logan Paul is all about Logan Paul, and that he is not... It's not to say that he's not a team player. It's more so to say that he's not doing what the other wrestlers are doing. He's not wrestling every week. He's not wrestling as often as he should. And for him to fight a guy like John Cena, I don't think it would be entertaining. I'd rather see, and I know I might have some people going at me for this, but I'd rather see Cena versus Austin Theory at WrestleMania than John Cena versus Logan Paul. Because I think John Cena could really do something with Austin Theory. Because we've seen Cena put people over before. And at WrestleMania, that's really when John Cena puts over other competitors, and he really focuses on his opponents and trying to give them the benefit of the doubt and give them a great run for the following year. And I don't think, first of all, I don't think Logan Paul is going to be healed in time to have a great run, even if they do have the match. And I don't think Logan Paul is going to take whatever Cena gives him and then be able to elevate that, because it's going to be exactly what we've been seeing. He's going to come back every so many months, and he's going to have a new headline and a new match, and then he's going to go away again, and then he's going to come back, and it's the same old, same old. I don't think it's ever going to be anything outside of that, and therefore I'm not really someone that wants to see this idea of Logan Paul versus John Cena. And I don't think it would happen. I don't think it could happen within the time frame they're saying. They're saying at WrestleMania 39. That is this year's WrestleMania. That is this April. I don't think Logan is going to be ready by that. Not like ready as in like physically fit. I don't think he's going to be ready in the sense that the dude is injured. He's injured, and then not only is he injured, he's going to have to get back in the ring, and he's going to have to do training day after day after day like he was doing with Shawn Michaels, and he was doing that for months before his match with Roman Reigns. By the time he's healed, he's going to have probably less than a month to get ready for John Cena, and that's terrible. And I think Triple H should realize that. The fact that I found out, like, in the official statement, that this is, like, this is an actual thing that WWE is discussing. They're actually, like, trying to make this an official card on the an official match on the card for WrestleMania 39. And that's what scares me. Like, that greatly scares me, because I just think I think it would go horribly wrong. I think maybe if they waited until 2024 and Logan came back and they did a little more with Logan, and maybe, but definitely not by April. I don't think there's going to be enough time for storyline, and I don't think there's going to be enough time for him just physically and mentally, and just with his knee injury, I don't think he's going to be ready in time. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Logan Paul and John Cena WrestleMania. Let's move over a little bit to tonight's Monday Night Raw. So Monday Night Raw is going on tonight. Now, I talked a little bit about this on Saturday's episode. I talked a little bit about Alexa Bliss versus Bianca Belair. We will see that tonight. Alexa Bliss versus Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. I'm not really going to go into too much depth with this, because like I said, I talked quite a bit about this on Saturday's episode, so I'm just going to kind of give the basic details. Alexa Bliss kind of, Bray Wyatt getting in the head of Alexa Bliss, trying to control her, trying to get her to potentially turn on Bianca Belair. I don't know exactly what his game plan is with her, but it's safe to say that either Uncle Howdy or Bray Wyatt or someone is trying to get to Alexa Bliss, and it's working so far. In terms of predictions, I'm still going to have to go with Bianca Belair. I don't see Belair losing the title. First of all, I don't see her losing the title on a Monday Night Raw. And second of all, I don't see her losing the title just due to the fact that Ronda Rousey just lost the SmackDown Women's Championship on Friday, and I don't see Bianca losing the title. I don't see both women losing the titles that quickly to one another, and so I'm unfortunately going to have to go with Bianca. And I say unfortunately because I am a huge fan of Alexa Bliss, and I do want Alexa Bliss to finally get the championship, the singles run again as world champion, and so I do want to see Bliss as champion, but I don't think it is Alexa Bliss's time yet. I do think they are building her up for something big, but I don't think it would make sense for her to beat Bianca quite yet, because Ronda just lost, and I think it would just be a little weird for all the titles to kind of, for both titles to kind of have a new owner so close to one another. Now, another match tonight, it's a match I think a lot of people have been waiting for, especially after the constant amazing promos that both men have been putting on. Tonight we will finally see the championship rematch between Austin Theory and Seth Rollins for the United States Championship. Now, this is interesting because I've seen both of these guys wrestle before. They wrestled on they wrestled on Halloween. I don't know if it was, I forget when it was, but it was sometime in October, and it was Monday Night Raw's Halloween special, and they put on a great singles match. Like, genuinely, the match that they performed, the match that they did was amazing. Seth and Theory have a great in-ring chemistry, and I mean, everyone, I'm sure almost everyone can agree with me on this. Seth Rollins has that talent of being able to really put whoever he's wrestling in the ring, he has that talent of being able to put them over very well. But Theory, honestly, Theory just he melded great with Seth Rollins' attributes and his wrestling style. Like those two just they put on an instant classic in my eyes. And I've noticed that with Austin Theory. Theory can really he can really kind of just mold himself into whoever he's wrestling and just put on a genuinely intriguing match. And so I think this is going to be no short of a great one. However, in terms of predictions, I do have to go with Austin Theory because Seth just lost the title, and I just feel like there's greater things out there for Seth than the US belt, and I think Triple H knows that. I think Triple H realizes that, and I think more so Seth Rollins is being utilized right now to build up Austin Theory as US champ, because I think Theory has a great spot right now at being US champ because he has the potential for a number of different things. He has the potential for Seth Rollins, the potential for Bobby Lashley, the potential for Dolph Ziggler and Ali, and I think Theory can do a lot of things with that US belt, and I don't think it's time yet for him to lose it, especially so early on. After just winning it in November, I don't think it's time, and I think Seth has greater things to work up to. And so I think after this, I think both are going to kind of go their separate ways, and Theory's going to focus on being a great US champ. And as for Rollins, I don't know what Rollins might go to. Rollins could potentially go to straight to Roman Reigns. I'm not sure how that would work, but it could very well happen. Now, as far as I'm aware, those are the only two matches that I know of for tonight for Monday Night Raw. However, I'm assuming that we will also see Bronson Reed, whether it be in action or just cutting a promo or whatever. I'm sure we'll see him tonight. And I do want to touch a little bit on that just so everyone kind of knows what's going on and knows my opinion on it as well. Bronson Reed coming back last Monday, helping out The Miz, and I guess I don't know if he's still going to be working with The Miz or if it was just a one-time deal, but for last week anyway, he came back as The Miz's bodyguard to help The Miz take down Johnny Gargano and Dexter Lumis. And I don't know if we'll see more, like if that's that for now, or if we're going to see a little more, like if we'll see Bronson Reed take on Johnny Gargano, or Bronson Reed take on Dexter and Lumis. I think it's safe to say that whatever's going on with Dexter and Johnny is not over. I think those two are going to start maybe a bit of a tag team again, which could very well happen. I'm not saying we won't see it. I'm saying I think it's very well that we will see it. I think we'll also even be close to seeing that of just a full Miz and Bronson versus Dexter and Johnny. I'm not sure, but that's pretty much everything I wanted to touch on in today's episode. Tonight will certainly be interesting. I'm sure we'll see the Judgment Day in action. I don't know if they'll be continuing whatever it is they're doing with the Street Profits and Akira Tozawa. But since I have the time, I guess I'll touch on this now real quick. The Judgment Day obviously has been rivaling with Street Profits and with Akira, and personally, I think that rivalry is going to come to an end shortly. I don't find that being a long-term rivalry. I find that being more of a short-term for what's to come. And from what we've been hearing, it's safe to say that Edge will be returning, maybe not tonight, maybe next week, maybe the following week, but eventually Edge will be returning. And from what we've been hearing at the Royal Rumble, from what we've been hearing, we'll see Demon Finn Balor versus the Rated R Superstar Edge in a Hell in a Cell match at the Royal Rumble. Now, the Royal Rumble is not until January 28th, so we still got a couple weeks left, few weeks. Now, I do just want to touch a little bit on my thoughts on this match. I like the idea. I like the concept. I see where this is going. But my personal opinion, I think you need to take Finn Balor. I think you need to take the demon side of Finn Balor out of this. You can't put that into the match. And I say that because you can't add that variable into the match. And I say that because Finn Balor is an incredible athlete. And so is Edge. And everyone can agree with that. But Demon Finn Balor just last wrestled in 2021 against Roman Reigns back in September of 2021 for the Universal Championship. And it was the Demon Finn Balor's first ever loss in WWE. I don't want to see Demon Finn Balor come back and then lose again. And I say that because you can't necessarily have Edge win. You can't necessarily have Edge lose, right? Think about it. Edge has already suffered a major loss at Extreme Rules in the sense that what Judgment Day did to his wife, what Judgment Day did to him, and it was humiliating in the sense that he had to say "I quit" in front of everyone. And so that's where I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, okay, as great as this is, as great as this concept is, Edge is probably going to have to win this, right? For Edge to win this, it would make more sense for it to be regular Finn Balor. And I say that because if it's Demon Finn and Edge wins, it's going to be the second loss in a row that Demon Finn Balor has suffered. And it could potentially make because the character of Demon Finn Balor was always that of he was immortal, right? In the sense that he's a demon and he doesn't lose. He almost rarely ever loses. He's only suffered one loss. You know what I mean? And so for him to suffer 2 losses in a row, it's really going to make the legitimacy of Demon Finn Balor, the character of that, and the gimmick of that, it's really going to make the legitimacy of that suffer. And I think Triple H knows that, and I think that's why they're still working out some kinks. I'm hoping. I'd love to see them in a Hell in a Cell. I would love to see that. It would be Finn Balor's first Hell in a Cell. I'd love to see that. And I'd love to see a Judgment Day style of a Demon Finn. However, I don't think it's time yet. I don't think Finn Balor should wrestle yet as the Demon, just because I think whatever it is, I think it could potentially mess it up. And so I'm hoping that we'll see something a little more. I'm hoping we'll see a more thought out idea down the line. And I'm hoping Edge does come back in time for the Royal Rumble, because I do want to see the return of Edge a lot sooner than later. And so let's hope for the best. And ladies and gentlemen, those are the only topics I really have to talk about tonight. Thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. Hope you have a great one. Peace out.